Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in our previous class, we learned about the forms in React.js. So in forms, we use the input fields, right? So at the time of creating like input fields, we use the use state hook, right? So we call, whenever we create the input fields using the use state, we call this as a control components. So there is one more way of creating input fields. So to that way we call it as what? Uncontrolled components. So we already use this one, that is your control component. So we mostly use this one only, that is your control component. Uncontrolled component rarely used, but it is there, as I already told you in our previous class. So yeah, we saw this control component. Now let's see what is uncontrolled component. So uncontrolled components are form inputs in your React.js, where the browser controls the input value directly instead of your React state. See, previously we are using use state for your input fields, but in this uncontrolled components we are not using this React states. We are not using use states. We are directly your DOM controls the input value. How directly your DOM controls the input value? It uses ref. Okay, use ref, it is also one kind of hook. We are going to see what is hook also in this today's class only. So instead of using state use state like this, we are using this use ref hook. So what's the benefit of using this use ref? So previously when we are using use state, first of all, whatever you are typing, it is getting stored in your use state hook, right? It is getting stored in your inside your use state hook. Then using the use state initial value, we are able to show it. So in this we are using the use ref hook. So how it works? The user type and the DOM manage the value internally. Instead of your use state, now DOM manages the value. Okay, React does not update or track the value. Okay, so it is not related to your React states. So whenever you are using use ref for your input fields. Okay, so let's see how can we create it. So similarly, for how you did for your use state, similarly you have to import this use ref also. This is also one kind of hook. So at the time of initializing it, just store this inside one variable. So same thing for email and password, I am storing in one variable. Let me show you in the code. Okay, just give me a minute. Yeah, okay. So I'm showing you the use ref, that is your in your forms uncontrolled component. So here I'm using that one. So instead of this is app only, inside this app only I'm importing that one. So here I'm giving, instead of my component name like a login form uncontrolled, I'm giving app here. And see, it is giving me some kind of error. Why? Because this use ref is not imported. So just import it. Yeah, now it's proper. Now just try to understand the code, how what we are doing actually. So as I told you, you must have to store this use ref inside one variable. So just we are storing this use ref, this is your hook, this we are calling it. This just hook is nothing but it is just one kind of function. Before like in previous version of React, this hooks were not there. So we are going to see what is hook in our today's class only, no need to be worried. So yeah, just we are storing this useref function inside one variable, and similarly for password also. And what we are doing at the time of creating this input field, same thing we are doing, type equals to email. And just see this, we are not giving value here. See, we are not giving value or on change. See, previously what we give, like we used to give it like this. We give value, and inside this value we give the initial state. Then we give like a on change, and inside that on change we are setting our initial state using the use state hook. So inside, when we are using this use ref, instead of using that value and on change, we are directly using this ref. Okay, this is your props, and inside it you are passing the name of your variable. Similarly for this email, and this for your password also. Okay, now whenever user click on this login, after entering these details, this function will run. Just see this handle submit function will run. So inside this function, what we are doing, first of all, we are preventing the default. You guys know why we are doing this? Because the default value of your default behavior of your form is, whenever anyone submit the form, the page will be refreshed. So that is why we want to prevent that behavior. So that is why we are using this e.prevent default. Yeah, then we are just consoling it. Console.log email and password, and just see this. Now I want to get the current value, whatever is entered by the user, I want to get the current value. So that is why I'm using this email dot current dot value. Okay, let me show you the output. Yeah, just see this. I'm giving some email here and giving some password. So it is also will work same like how your use state, how your control component work. It is also working same, but the like is the changes is behind the scene. It is controlled by your DOM, not by your use state. So but in UI it will look same. So now I'm doing this login. So now just see, it is also showing me the value. So now you can use these values in your UI. So if I want to show this here, so I'm using the fragments here. So yeah, here I am giving some, I want to print it. So diff, yeah, here I am giving that one. That is, I am taking paragraph tag, and inside for current email, email dot ref dot current value. Okay, so it will print it. It will show in your UI. Same for your password. Let's see it. What's the issue? Fragment is not properly closed. Yeah, it is giving some kind of error. Let's keep this one as it is, not checking any kind of condition. Yeah, let's now check me. It is showing the previous error. Okay, what's the error? Let me remove this one and we will see it once again. Yeah, till here it is perfect. Yeah, till here it is perfect. Now after giving this one, again I am giving this using h1, not h1. I am using the paragraph tag, and inside it I am giving like email, and here I want to print that email dot current value, email ref dot current value. So I am using this one. Yeah, let's see why it is giving this error. Cannot accelerate during the render. Okay, so it is showing the error at the time, but let's see after login it is showing error or not. I'm clicking on this login. Yeah, it is not showing here, right? So let's see what's the issue. So I'm not giving any if else condition here, directly I want to print it. let's see this one. I think we must, yeah, it is working. Yeah, let's see this one. Okay, during render. So it is showing some kind of error. Let's store this in one variable. So I want to try to store this inside one variable. So yeah, I'm taking this value from here and I'm storing this inside one variable, that is I'm giving as password, and inside it I'm storing it. So instead of calling it like this, I'm directly using the password variable here. Let's see this, if this error is still there, we will check it out later. Okay, yeah, this error is still there, so we will check it out later why it is not showing this. Okay, when we are want to try, like, see, it is showing in console when we are trying to get the values whatever entered by the user, that is email and password, which is there inside your email.ref.current.value. See, this email ref is your one kind of object. Inside it we have this current. So I will show you without this current and this value. So it is like a complete object which contain multiple things. So I'm removing this one. Yeah, from here I'm removing this one also. Just see this, when I'm entering something, and here also I'm entering something, and I click on this login. See, yeah, as I told you, it is a complete object. If you want to get the current value, see, current is will be there here. So yeah, current, yeah, here we have the current. So inside this current, yeah, current is not visible. Where it is? Yeah, I think we have to search it, but current will be there. Okay, when we are doing like a current dot value, then only we got, yeah, here we have this current. Yes, current, and inside first, in first only we have this current, and inside this current we are having this value. So inside this value you will get the access whatever is typed by your user. So that is why we are trying to access it using like this current dot value. So this is the way you can make a uncontrolled component. What is uncontrolled component? This is this is controlled by your DOM. You are not storing the values of the thing which is entered by the user. You are not using use state, or you are not using the on change handler. It is directly under the control of your DOM. So that is why we call it as what, uncontrolled component. So yeah, so I will see you why it is not showing you here when we are trying to print it, like show in our UI using this email ref.current.value. It is showing some kind of error, right? So I will see this, what it is why it is getting this kind of error. Yeah, so next what we have, right? So just now we learn about what is mean by uncontrolled component. Uncontrolled component is nothing by it, this is controls by your DOM, not by any React state. So here you don't have to use any kind of state, you just have to use this useRef hook. Okay, just you have to call this useRef hook function. This is inbuilt by your React.js. You just have to store it inside one variable, and you can use this variable in its respective input field. Okay, there is no need to use value or on change. It is directly like stored in your DOM. So this value will be stored, whatever the value typed by your user inside this particular input field, it will be stored inside this value, that is email dot current dot value. Okay, this is just like a one kind of object which contain multiple things, all the properties, everything. So inside this email ref we have one current property, and inside this current we have one value. So from this you will get whatever the value is entered by the user. Okay, so this is all about your uncontrolled component. Now we are going to see how can we handle different kinds of input types. So we have different kind of input types, like we have input, text input. We already saw this one. We just create use state and we give value and on in change. Yeah, so similarly we have checkboxes also, right? So for handling this kind of input field is little different compared to this one. Okay, in checkboxes we can have multiple checkboxes, right? So if we are having only one checkbox, it is same. If you are having only one checkbox, it is same like this only, like your text input. But if it is having multiple checkboxes, like three or four checkboxes, so the logic will be little different. So just see the first one. So here we are just having one checkbox, that is I agree terms and condition or agreement checkbox is there. So we are using same thing like as we already used for creating in the input field using the control component, that is creating use state and giving initial value and its set function. So here we are giving use state and initially we are giving this false. So here in this input field we are using same thing, type equals to checkbox, and here in this we are using checked. Okay, checked is also an attribute, right? So initially it is false. So here that is why it is false. Whenever user click on it, we are converting this to true. Right? We are making this as checked, means it becomes true. Yeah, let me show you this one. Yeah, I'm just removing this one, all the things, and I'm giving the arrow function, and inside this I'm just removing this one and giving this checkboxes function and changing the name to app. Yeah, now I have to import the use state as well. So I'm just importing use state. So now just check the output. Yeah, let's see this. Initially it is false. Here I give condition like this. Inside this checked, I am passing this variable, that is your initial variable, that is agree. Initially it is false, so that is why it is showing unchecked. So whenever user click on that checkbox, we are setting this value. We are using this set is state, set is agree function, and inside it we are making this as checked. Whenever you are making this as checked, this use state value will be like changed. It becomes true. So now just see it. So first of all, whenever I click on it, the value will be changed in your use state. So if you are giving initially like true, it will be checked. By default, it will be checked. Yeah, see, by default it is checked. Okay, when I am clicking on it, it will be like a we are already giving checked, right? So like it is vice versa. If it is checked, it will be unchecked something. So this one is simple, right? But the logic will be little different when you are dealing with multiple checkboxes. So when you want to create multiple checkboxes and want to get the which value is checked by the user, so in that scenario the condition will be like the logic will be little different. So here we are using the use state, same thing we are doing, but inside this use state I am creating one object. Okay, why I am creating one object? Because I want to give three checkboxes. First one for the React, second for review, and third for your Angular. Initial value I am giving for all these three is false. Okay, now whenever user clicks on this handle change, that is your on change function, I am not directly changing my function. I am not directly changing the value from here, like not setting like set is agree what we did previously. We are not doing it like this because it is in the form of object, right? So we can't do it directly. So instead of it, I just create one separate function, that is handle change. Here also I'm passing same function, here also, and in this also I'm passing the same function. So in this function we are just changing some logic. So in this function I'm calling this set state only, that is your for setting your first one initial value, we are using this one. And inside it, what we are doing, first of all, we are passing this one, we are using this spread operator. I am saying whatever the initial things are there, just keep it as it is. Whatever the things changed by user, just replace it. Suppose I will show you in the code. Yeah, let's see this. Yeah, see, it is containing three checkboxes and one for React, Vue and Angular. So what it is doing, whenever I am clicking on this checkbox, it will run one function. That function name is handle change. For all these three input fields, I am passing one function. That function name is handle change. Just see this name attribute. We already learned in our HTML. We use this name attribute in our JavaScript or in our React.js. So here also I am using this name attribute. Just observe this. This is really important. So that is why I am like make sure to you understand it clearly. So yeah, inside this handle change function, what I am doing, I am passing the event object, and then I am setting this set interest, this like is states, I am changing it, updating it. What I am doing, first of all, I am keeping everything as it is. Like if you are just checking one checkbox, so remaining will be as it is, right? So remaining will be as it is. So that is why I am using this spread operator for copying everything as it is. Then if it is change anything by user, then replace it. Suppose you are not checking on React.js and Vue.js, but you checked on Angular. Okay, so this React and Vue will be as it is, and this one will be only replaced. So that is why we are using this spread operator. Okay, then just observe this, what we are doing here, e.target.name. So why we are using this one, we are using which key, like the name of your object, key name, to understand which key name you are getting, you are checking it. So to get the name of it, we are using this e.target.name. So which name you target, like suppose if I if I check on this view one, so I want to get the name of it, right? I want to get the key of it. So how can I get the key of it? So for getting the key, we are using this e.target.name. So from it, we are keeping the, like we are keeping the value as e.target.checked. So yeah, let's see, it will work fine. So just there is only one line which you have to understand in this, that is this one only. This is the only one line you must have to understand how it is working. So in this e.target.name, what we are doing, see, as you know what e.target have. So I am consoling e.target here, e.target. Just see this one. It is containing only one line of logic. Just try to understand this one line. So when I am targeting this e.target, just see this. Yeah, see, whenever I am clicking on this Angular, so when you want to pass the data, like in your database, you want to get which one is selected, right? Which one is selected? The thing which you selected, it will be stored inside your e.target. Suppose if you select the React, so how the when at the time of passing your data to your backend, to your database, how it will get fetch the which one is selected. So all the values which one is selected, what is the value you select, what is the name of it, it will be stored inside your e.target, that is your event object. So when I'm clicking on it here, so just see this one. Yeah, just I'm consoling e.target, not just e. See, it is giving me the complete object. Whenever I just now I before use the e dot target, right? So it is giving me the complete input field which one I select. So it is giving only me the name and the checkbox. From this name I can understand user checks the react checkbox. So when I am clicking on this view, see it is giving me the complete event object. In this event object you have all the target value, everything. Okay, let's see, here we have the target. Just see this one, inside this target you have the value. See which one you checked, it is also stored inside this one. So yeah, it is true. And let's see the name of it. E dot target dot yeah, name. This event object contains lot of things, so from it you can extract all the necessary information you want. Yeah, just see this, here you have the name. So at the time of passing these values to your database, like if you are just choosing it from here, it will be work properly. But which one is selected, you want to pass that one also, right? So which one is selected you want to pass to your database. So we are getting this information which one is selected from your event object. Inside this event object we have target, and inside the target we have this name attribute. So we are able to understand which checkbox is selected by using this e dot target dot name. And e dot target dot check means you are just making this one true. Suppose this one is your React.js, and whenever we are updating, we are just updating the value, that is e dot target dot checked means that is it becomes true. So yeah, this is how this one line works. So this is how you can like work with the multiple checkboxes. So similarly you can use the radio buttons also. Same thing you have to do, that is you have to take this use states, and inside this we are taking this input field, that is type equals to radio, and same thing value male, and here we are giving checked, that is if gender equal to male, then only checked it. Okay, let me show you in the code. This is very simple, like similar to your input, normal input type text. Okay, yeah, if there is some small logic is there, just try to understand that one. So yeah, I have to give it as app here, and here I am giving export default app. So now just try to understand the logic from here. So the logic here is similarly how we use the for your normal input type equals to text. Similarly we are using like here also, that is gender and set gender, and here I am taking inputs type equals to radio, but here we are giving value. See, I am not using name attribute here. So but inside this checked I am giving some condition like this, gender equals to male, then only make it as a checked. So similarly for female also, gender equals to female, then only check it. Yeah, same for your other also. Okay, then yeah, let me show you the output first. Yeah, it is working fine. See. Okay, so in this you just have to remember one thing only, that is your inside this checked you are not directly giving this gender. See, you are not directly giving this gender. Okay, why? Because this values, this male female is not stored inside your use state, right? If you are creating this as a object, then you can directly give it, but you are not providing the values. So that is why inside this checked we are checking gender equals to female or not. So if it is match, then only make it as true. Okay, make it as checked. Okay, yeah, from here we are getting the value. Just see this one. So suppose if I am consoling this, yeah, we are not able to console it because we are not using the separate function for your on change. But this one is simple only. Your checkboxes is little like a different, having some little logic, but this one is very easy. You just have to use this triple equal to check which one is selected, and from it we are getting the value, and this one is female and this is also female, so it becomes true. So that this why it becomes checked. Yeah, let's see what we have next. So how can we handle the selects in your form? So yeah, let's see this one. This is also very similar to your eta or like your normal input type. The unique one was your like checkboxes only. I'm removing all the code and giving RFC. Yeah, here I am giving the use state. Let's see this. I am using the use state. Same thing we are doing, but the thing we are changing here is inside this select we provide the value. Right, in our HTML also we use this value, but inside this on change we are setting it. We are using this e dot target dot value. Which one is choose by you? It will be selected, so it will be updated here. So when I am consoling this one, if I am consoling country, yeah, let's see this one. So it is getting stored. So it is taking the value from this one, that is value equals to USA, value equals to UAE, UK, Canada, all these things. So inside this set country, inside this set state, we are just targeting e dot target dot value. This value will it comes from here. Okay, the value will be comes from here. So whatever the thing, like suppose if I am, instead of giving this USA, if I am giving just you something, so it will be print out you only here also. So like it is not taking from this text, it is taking the value from this value attribute. So let me show you. Yeah, see, it is showing you the u only. So this is the difference, like it will take the value. That is why we are using this e dot target dot value. This value is coming from this options. Okay, so this one is also very similar, like a simpler one. Yeah, let's see how can we submit a form. So for submitting a form, we are using this one. We are using this destructuring, object destructuring. As I told you, e dot target contains all the necessary information about your events object, like whatever the thing entered by the user, name of your input field, or all the remaining lot. There are a lot of things, so all these things will be stored inside your event object. So from this event object, inside this we have this target object also. So from this e dot target we are extracting two values. First one is name and the second one is value. So let me show you this one. This is also very simpler one. Yeah, let me show you this one. Okay, then just this is just a small form. Then after it we are going to learn about the hook. Just removing the name of my component, that is app, and here I am importing this use state. Okay, just see this. I am using this handle change function. First of all, I create this use state, and this is my object of use state. So inside it, at the time of like here, I am at the time of on change, I am passing this handle change function. Inside this handle change function, what we did previously in with our checkboxes, same thing we are doing. This is not anything different. We are doing the same thing, but instead of directly giving like this, uh, e dot target dot name, we are extracting this name from this e dot target. So here also we did the same thing in our checkboxes, right? E dot target dot value. So instead of giving directly like this, we are just extracting this name and value properties from this e dot target object. So let me show you this one. It contains, like, it is multiple complete form which contains multiple input fields. So when I click on the submit, so here is your complete data format. So always remember how we are giving the structure of it. Why? Because whenever you run the post API, post API is nothing but post API is like when you are filling some form, the data will be posted on your database. That is your post API. You are creating something, you are creating new user, you are providing some information. So the providing information will always be in the form format. Okay, you are giving some your name, email address, password. So if we are filling some details, on click of the submit button, your post API will run. So how we can send the post API to the data to our post API? So we send the data in this format only. Okay, we use this object format and we send the data. So that is why I'm like more focusing on this. How can we handle the forms input types? Why? Because whenever you want to post some data, whenever you want to like give some data to your database or to your backend, we always use this form format. So just always remember to follow this one. Inside this set form data, we are just giving this, and after setting, after pushing all the data, we are making this as a empty. So that is why after clicking on this submit button, the fields becomes empty. Just see this. Okay, when I submit or click on the submit, it becomes empty. So here also see the data is coming in the form of object. So in the object format only we are used to send data to our backend. Okay, yeah. So this is the all are the different types we usually deal with our at the time of sending data to our database. Now I'm just giving some introduction about the hook. We will complete it on our next class. So what is hook? So hook is nothing but is a kind of special function which is it is inbuilt, which is there by your React.js. It is a one feature of your React.js. Previously it was not there. Like previously a developer used to create components using class only. Okay, they used to create the component using classes, like this use state hook, this that use ref hook, and use effect hook also were not there previously. So that is why the class component was tough only, difficult only, but still developer use it. Why? Because for updating some UI there is a need of something like which is not there in your functional component. So when in the latest feature of your React.js, this hook will introduce. So a hook in React.js is simply a special function that lets you use React.js features. Like you using it, you can update the state. You can use for the life cycle and for the context API also. We are going to see this one also, and inside a functional component before hooks existed. So before, if there is no functionality of like this hooks, we are using the class components. So when hooks came, the functional component becomes more easy. The working with functional component becomes very easy when we get this kind of hooks. Okay, so this use state is also one kind of hook. This was not previously there in your React.js. And this use ref also one kind of hook, and this use effect also, and this context API, this use context also a one kind of hook. So this is just like a special function which is there to make your work more easy. So it is inbuilt, you are not creating it by yourself. It is inbuilt, it is there to make your work more easy. You just have to import it and you can use it. Okay, every hook have its own purpose. Like we use the use state hook for like creating the variables which can update, And for your use ref, we are using the use ref so that the input field can be directly controlled by your DOM. Similarly, we use this use effect hook. Why we use this use effect hook? Like at the time of when your component renders, when you want to show something in your UI, or based on changing some states, you want to do something, or at the time of your component will completely vanish, completely disappear, you want to run something. So in that scenario, we use this use effect hook. Okay, why we use this use effect hook? Use effect hook lets you run code when the component loads. Okay, after the component loads, when it gets updates, or when it gets unmounts. Okay, so use effect hook is a React hook that lets you run the side effect. Okay, so we are going to see each and everything related to your use effect. So what is mean by mount? So whenever you are running your program, like your website, web application, it is showing me some kind of UI. So this is your mount. So whenever it getting disappear, see when I am moving to some other page, so this component will be removed from your DOM. All this UI, like see these elements. See, inside this we are having this root. Inside this root, I am having this form. So suppose when I am moving to some any other component, some any other page, all these components, all these forms code will be removed from your document. So that is your unmount. Okay, when your complete page, when your complete component will be removed from the DOM, we call it as what? Unmount. So you can simply can say it, unmount is like leaves the stage. We are disappearing the screen, we call it as what? Unmount. So we will see this use effect in our next class. So there is like lot of benefit of using this use state. Then after this use state, we are going to see the context API. First of all, we will complete this assignment. That is a small assignment only. That is your timer project stopwatch. This is very simple compared to how we create using the JavaScript. It becomes very simpler. So after this assignment, we are going to see the context API. Why we use the context API? There is prop drilling. Because of that prop drilling, we are using this context API. So we are going to understand the concept behind it. Then after it, we are seeing this React router DOM. Okay, why we use the React router DOM? For navigation purpose. Like till now we are just showing the components. We are just showing. Suppose if you want, if you create a website of e-commerce, you want to navigate to one page to another page. As I told you, when we are navigating from one page to another page, React doesn't reload, right? So how it doesn't reload? Because of this React router DOM. So we are going to see all these things in our next classes. So you guys have any doubt in our today's session? Want to ask me anything? Any doubts? Okay, guys. So now I'm going to end our session. Thank you. Bye bye.